Mr. Murry and Thumbkin by Karma Wilson, illustrated by Ard Hoyt. Once there was a furry mouse, a skitter, scatter, a scurry mouse, a flurry about in a hurry mouse, whose name was Mr. Murry Mouse. He lived alone in an old teapot, and Mr. Murry worried a lot. Are the days too short? Are the nights too cold? Is my tail too long? Are my teeth too old? He worried away each and every day. Then, next door there moved another mouse into a pretty pumpkin house, a carefree country bumpkin mouse, who went by the name of Thumbkin Mouse. Thumbkin lay around all day, just gnawing on a stalk of hay. He sang diddle-dee and a fiddle-dee-ho. I got no worries, oh no, no. And so he frittered away each and every day. Now Mr. Murry worries some more about that new mouse living next door. His home is a shambles. The structure is poor. Why, I have never seen such confusion before. Then Mr. Murry, the neighborly sort, took over a tasty raspberry tart. My name's Mr. Murry. I brought you a treat. Howdy, Aunt Thumbkin, come in, take a seat. So the two neighbors sat for a mouse-to-mouse chat. Mr. Murry said, Thumbkin, have you ever thought this old pumpkin house is certain to rot? Thumbkin just chuckled. Oh no, surely not. You know, Mr. Murry, you worry a lot. Mr. Murry said, no, I'm a practical mouse, and a pumpkin is quite an impractical house. And now I should go, my chores will not keep, but windows to caulk and a chimney to sweep. Then he muttered good day and set off on his way. The next afternoon Mr. Murry stepped out. I've much that needs doing, of that there is no doubt. I'll rake and I'll mulch and I'll scour the growth. And then he saw Thumbkin just longing about. He lay in his yard and admired his weeds. He munched and he crunched upon fat pumpkin seeds. Mr. Murry sit down, it's a fine autumn day. Mr. Murry said, oh, but there is snow on the way. A sensible mouse will move out of the house. Thumbkin just laughed, you sure, Fred, and such. If I stub my toe, you will offer a crutch. So what if my rooftop is sagging a touch? You know, Mr. Murry, you worry too much. Thumbkin just laughed, you sure, Fred, and such. If I stub my toe, you will offer a crutch. So what if my rooftop is sagging a touch? You know, Mr. Murry, you worry too much. While you fuss and fume, I'm gonna bake. I hanker to whip up a sweet pumpkin cake. Mr. Murry looked troubled. I've to advise that serving your house for dessert is unwise. Mr. Murry looked troubled. I have to advise that serving your house for dessert is unwise. He grumbled as Thumbkin sliced into his pumpkin. After 3 weeks in blew the first snow, Mr. Murry cried, Thumbkin, your roof looks so low. I just love, said Thumbkin, a good storm, you know. Relax, Mr. Murry, you do worry so. But Thumbkin's poor house continued to sag, and still Mr. Murry continued to nag. Perhaps we could save it. We will shore up the side. We will shingle the roof to something, he cried. Then a creak and a crash and a deafening smash, and all Mr. Murry's worries came true. The two neighbors watched as that roof fell right through. Mr. Murry cried, now what on earth shall you do? Thumbkin said, lie back and take in the... I've always been keen on a breath of fresh air. The breeze is refreshing and ruffles my hair. I got half a house, I ain't needing more. Mr. Murry said, yes, but what's left is all floor. Oh, Mr. Murry, said Thumbkin, don't worry. That night, all alone in his cozy teapot, poor Mr. Murry, he worried a lot. He wrinkled his brow and paced while he thought, Will Thumbkin freeze solid? Oh, how cool he know! Out in the snow, he will shield true and true. Hold on a minute, I know what I'll do. So he bundled out warmly and scurried next door. My teapot, dear Thumbkin, has room for one more. Thumbkin said, Really? Thumbkin said, Really? It is a mite chilly. And so the two friends settled in for the night. They made up their beds and they snuggled down tight. Mr. Murry said, Thumbkin, I'm worried, all right? A food for just one. What a horrible plate. Oh, Mr. Murry, said Thumbkin, don't fear. We got half my pumpkin. We will eat it all year. And so Mr. Murry, who worried too much, and Thumbkin, who worried too little, lived out their days in a cozy teapot and met someone right in the middle.